Yes, hello again everyone, and welcome back once more to Classic Dirt Bike TV. Now in this next featured posting we're going to continue our look at the racing highlights from the Scottish Classic Motorcycle Racing Club's Round 6 event that was held at North Carnduff Farm near Strathaven. Now we're going to continue this part 2 video by starting with the first of the age-related races, which is based around the rider's age and not the actual type of bike that he rides. So first up it will be the over 60s class as we get ready to leave the line. It's a good start by Brian Hamilton, number 14 on the inside. Peter Dobbinson going wide there on the Rickman Triumph, but looks like a good start by all of these over 60s riders. And as they head to the bottom section of the track, but it's Brian Hamilton on the little Suzuki who is your race leader, number 14. So as they come towards us, it's Brian Hamilton first, Peter Dobbinson second, Fergus Moody third, and it looks like Stuart Riddle on the CZ in fourth. As the riders head towards the far side of the racetrack, this of course will be the first of 3 races for the over 60s class in this afternoon's race programme, but our new race leader is number 122, Fergus Moody. Brian Hamilton is still second on the CZ or CZ. Looks like Peter Dobbinson has made a move on Brian and taken that second position. Number 51 going through there, that's one of our more valuable club members, that's Ian Ridley. So it's Fergus Moody first, Peter Dobbinson second, Brian Hamilton third, Stuart Riddle fourth, and once again there's got Ian Ridley there, number 51 on that beautiful BSA Victor bike. So Fergus Moody just completing lap 2 already. Remember, quite a short circuit here at Strathaven, but nonetheless an excellent little track for these old vintage race bikes to race on. And this of course is the over 60s class, and one or two of these riders are actually heading towards their 70s, so it's good to see that they're still up for taking their old vintage race bikes out for a blast on a Sunday afternoon. So we're looking at our second placed rider, that's Peter Dobbinson from Penrith on that number 41 bike, that lovely Rickman frame with the Triumph twin motor. Bike makes a beautiful sound when it whistles past you at full throttle, this lovely Triumph twin. So it's still Fergus Moody, your race leader. Second is Peter Dobbinson. And there we have Fergus on his lovely BSA bike. 41 is Peter Dobbinson in second. Stuart Riddle is in third position on the CZ machine. Coming through in fourth is still Brian Hamilton, number 14. Number 101 just going through there, that's Ian Munro. So we're looking at our race leader once again, number 122, Fergus Moody. Remember, there'll be 3 over 60s class races this afternoon in this particular class, so these guys get quite a good bit of racing for their entry fee, with 6 races per day. And as you can see, thankfully the weather is still perfect here at North Carnduff Farm in Strathaven. And the clouds were a bit overcast earlier on, but thankfully no rain to speak of as yet, fingers crossed. And once again we're looking at our second placed position rider as he crosses the line to start his last and final lap. So it's number 41, Peter Dobbinson on the Rickman Triumph. Your race leader is still number 122, Fergus Moody. So Fergus has got quite a decent lead on the second man here, number 41, Peter Dobbinson. Number 4 coming up there, that's Robert Kennedy on his original 1975 CCM bike. Robert doesn't often get out to play on his bike these days due to health problems, but it's good to see Robert taking his bike out onto the track. So here is your race winner for this first over 60s class race of the day. It's number 122, Fergus Moody. Okay, that brings us along to the pre-1975 class. Now, we saw some good racing in the first part of the day's programme between Stuart Riddle and Leslie Calderwood, but doesn't seem to be Les just doesn't seem to be lining up for this pre-1975 class race, so we're just waiting on our official starter, letting the bikes go, and it's a good start once again by Tommy Anderson on the inside on that Husqvarna, as Tommy Anderson takes the early lead. Liston Bell is in there in second place, Stuart Riddle is third, Ian Robertson is in there in fourth position on that very quick little DT 360 Yamaha bike that he built through the closed winter period. So it's number 3, Tommy Anderson, your race leader. Second, 98, Liston Bell. Number 20 is Stuart Riddle. Number 100 is Ian Robertson, as the rest of the chasing pack make their way through. So as we look towards our race leaders, it looks like it's Liston Bell who is your new race leader. Second is Tommy Anderson there on the Husqvarna. Tommy doing really well on that. I think it's a 360, I'm not entirely sure, but doing really well on that Husqvarna. Stuart Riddle on the big CCM seems to be lining up a move on Tommy Anderson for that second place position. But your race leader is number 98, Liston Bell. Second is Tommy Anderson. Third is Stuart Riddle. Fourth is Ian Robertson. Fifth looks like Michael McNiven. Number 22 is Darryl Wiley. Now, as you can see, even for these pre-1975 bikes, it doesn't take them long to complete a lap here of this track here at Strathaven. A lovely laid out sweeping track, but nevertheless quite a short lap, so it doesn't take these bikes long to complete a lap. So here is your race leader, it's number 98, Liston Bell. Now I think Liston's riding his big Tripsa in this race, but I could be wrong in that respect. There's the second place man now, which is Stuart Riddle. Third is Tommy Anderson. Fourth is Ian Robertson. Fifth is Michael McNiven, and number 4 there is Robert Kennedy Jr. Number 22 is Darryl Wiley. Number 71 is Brian Aird. But we're looking at our second placed rider, Stuart Riddle, number 20 on the CCM. Stuart, of course, back in the day was highly connected to Formula 1 racing, and was a team manager, as far as I'm aware, for Ferrari at one time. So Stuart certainly knows his way around race circuits. So number 20 there is Stuart Riddle in second. Third is still Tommy Anderson. Number 100 there is Ian Robertson. So as we pick up our leaders again as they come round to complete another lap, we're looking at positions 3 and 4 in this race. Number 3 is Tommy Anderson on the Husqvarna, who leads Ian Robertson on that little DT 360 bike that he built through the winter. I think this engine was based around an old Yamaha trail bike, and Ian has converted it to race in this motocross chassis, and as you can see, this bike is very competitive and very quick in that little 360 engine. So that's Ian Robertson there, number 100. So we're looking at our race leader. as he comes round to complete and start his last and final lap. It's number 98, Liston Bell. Liston, of course, won the first 3 races in the morning part of the race programme, and he started the afternoon session off pretty well here by heading towards the checkered flag for what looks like another win. Second is number 20 here, that's Stuart Riddle on the CCM. Third is still Tommy Anderson, but it looks like Robert Kennedy Jr. Number 4 there is riding his father's bike in this race and looking to get a good track position. But here is your race winner. It's another win for number 98, Liston Bell, with what looks like Stuart Riddle in second position and Tommy Anderson and Robert Kennedy in third and fourth. Okay, next up we're on to the first of the pre-1984 class races of the afternoon. Once again, there will be 3 races for these guys in the afternoon, and this of course is race 1, but as they leave the line it looks like a good start by John Stokes, number 151, who's riding his very quick Honda. So it's John Stokes, number 151, your race leader. Second is David Lowden. Third is Neil Glendinning. Fourth on the yellow bike there is number 233, that's Graham Smith on the RM400 Suzuki. So as the riders come round to complete lap 1, it's number 151, that's John Stokes on the big 480 Honda. Second is David Lowden on the YZ Yamaha. Now, not sure if this is David's 490 he's riding or his 465, but nevertheless he's doing very well in this first pre-1984 class race of the afternoon. Now, as you can see, David Lowden is now your new race leader. Second is John Stokes, with third place man Neil Glendinning, but David Lowden absolutely flying on this little bike. Now, David of course was instrumental in securing this piece of land for this race event here at North Carnduff Farm, so it's thanks to David Lowden for his efforts, and so that we can all enjoy this type of classic racing. Now, of course, although these guys are all racing in the one class in this age-related classes in the afternoon, these riders will be scored separately into their individual age groups when they cross the line. So although we're looking at David Lowden in first position, they will be scored as to whether they are over or under 50s or 40s. So sounds complicated, but we know how it works. So it's David Lowden, your race leader on his YZ Yamaha. Second is now Neil Glendinning. Third is John Stokes. Fourth is Graham Smith on the Suzuki. But it certainly looks like Neil Glendinning is looking to make his mark on this pre-1984 class race as he closes in on David Lowden on that YZ Yamaha. So this could be a good finish in the latter stages of this first pre-1984 class race of the day. So it's still David Lowden, number 75, your race leader, from number 121, Neil Glendinning on the big Honda, who tries to go round the outside, but David closes that door as they head to the bottom section of the track. But Neil Glendinning is up the inside, but can he make it stick? No is the answer. So it's still David Lowden. Oh, it looks like Neil Glendinning has been trying far too hard and he's slipped off in the corner, but it looks like he's fine and he's already remounted. But that was a bit of a shame because we were looking forward to a good dice to the checkered flag between these two riders. So out in front now is number 75, David Lowden. Now remember, we have 8 laps for this pre-1984 class race, and unfortunately we can't show you every single lap due to the video ending up being maybe an hour and a half long. So we'll just condense it into the racing highlights, but this is a cracking run from David Lowden on the YZ Yamaha. John Stokes is now in second place. Third position there is still Graham Smith on the RM Suzuki. But David Lowden appears to be the man of the match thus far at this round 6 event here at Carnduff Farm. David's been riding absolutely fantastically on that YZ Yamaha the entire day, and fully deserves his race win as he comes round to start his last and final lap of this first pre-1984 class race of the afternoon. Second position is still John Stokes. We're looking at number 43, that's Andy Mallock from Burrelton in Perthshire. Gordon Forbes is just behind Andy there on the 490 Michael. Neil Glendinning is trying to play catch up. So as he comes towards the checkered flag, it's the first win of the afternoon for number 75, David Lowden, on that very quick Yamaha 490. Now just coming towards us, we're looking for the battle between number 19, that's Gordon Forbes, and number 43, Andy Mallock, on that 1983 Armstrong 500. Okay, that brings us back round once again to the second race for the over 60s class. This is their second of 3 races, of course, this afternoon. And we're just waiting on our race starter, getting the thumbs up from the track officials, and as they leave the line, it's another good start once again by number 14, Brian Hamilton, on that CZ machine, but it looks like most of the riders have made the first turn safely as they head to the bottom of the track. It's Stuart Riddle at number 164 on the CZ, who is now your new race leader. This bike of Stuart's is just one of the many CZ machines that Stuart races with the Scottish Classic Club. So it's Stuart Riddle in first, second is Fergus Moody, third is Peter Dobbinson, with Brian Hamilton in fourth. Now just a quick note to any of potential sponsors out there. I'm always on the lookout for sponsors for my Classic Dirt Bike TV channel, so if you're a person or business who supply goods and services to the vintage dirt bike world and you'd like to reach tens of thousands of potential customers around the globe, then just get in touch with me using the comment section below this video. So as the riders cross the line to complete lap 1, we're looking at number 51, that's Ian Ridley. So we're just looking to pick up our race leader, and once again it's number 122, that's Fergus Moody from Ayrshire, riding that lovely Faber BSA 440. Fergus is very quick on this nice old classic British bike, and as you can see, track conditions still perfect here at North Carnduff Farm. Thankfully the forecasted rain has thus far stayed away, so we're looking at our race leader in the second over 60s class race. That's Fergus Moody. In second place it looks like number 164, that's Stuart Riddle on the CZ or CZ. Number 41 is Peter Dobbinson. Number 101 there, that's Ian Munro. Number 14 is Brian Hamilton. Number 51 is Ian Ridley. Now we're looking at number 41, that's Peter Dobbinson from Penrith. Peter on that beautiful Rickman Triumph Matisse 500 bike. And as you can see, this bike is very quick for a quite heavy Triumph Twin, but this is just one of the 2 bikes that Peter brings to these Scottish events. He also races a very nice cotton Triumph Twin, so Peter using the Rickman Matisse this time round. Number 164 is Stuart Riddle once again. Now this kind of track layout here at North Carnduff Farm is just typical of the kind of racetracks that we race on in the Scottish Classic Motorcycle Racing Club. So if you have an old dirt bike lying around in the shed and you'd like to take it out for a blast, then just get in touch with the club on their website. So we're looking at our race leader as he starts his last and final lap of this second over 60s class race. It's still Fergus Moody, your race leader. Coming through in second is number 41. It's still Peter Dobbinson on that Rickman Matisse Triumph. But it looks like another win as he heads towards the checkered flag for number 122, Fergus Moody, the man from Ayrshire. He's had a relatively easy run to the flag in this particular race. Okay, back once more to the pre-1975 class. This is a very competitive class of riders in this particular formula. So we had some good racing from Stuart Riddle and Tommy Anderson and Ian Robertson in that last race, and there's no reason to suspect there won't be more of the same in this second pre-1975 class race. So as they leave the line once again, it looks like Stuart Riddle has the jump on that big CCM. Tommy Anderson is second. Looks like Ian Robertson is sitting there in third. So as they head to the inside of the track, it's Stuart Riddle, your race leader. Second now is Liston Bell. Third is Tommy Anderson riding that Husqvarna. Fourth is Ian Robertson on the 360 Yamaha. So as we pick up our race leaders once again, it's number 20 Stuart Riddle, who is your race leader on the Alan Clues CCM bike. Second is Liston Bell. Third is Tommy Anderson. Ian Robertson is still in there in fourth position, but as they come round to complete lap one, your race leader is number 20 Stuart Riddle on that very quick CCM. Second is still Liston Bell. Third is Tommy Anderson on the Husqvarna. Ian Robertson is still in fourth position. Michael McNiven on the CZ is doing well in fifth. But as we begin lap 2, it looks like your new race leader is number 98 Liston Bell, who of course won that first pre-1975 class race of the afternoon. That looks like Liston is already on his way as he crosses the line to complete yet another lap. Stuart Riddle is still in second position. Third is Tommy Anderson on the Husqvarna. Tommy also a very quick rider riding these Swedish two-stroke machines. Ian Robertson is still in there in fourth position. Robert Kennedy Jr. is now fifth. Michael McNiven is in sixth position. So it's still number 98 Liston Bell, your race leader. Second, number 20 Stuart Riddle. Third is still Tommy Anderson. Fourth is Ian Robertson. But these guys circulating at a decent pace here and already into lap 3. As we look at Stuart Riddle, number 20 on the Alan Clues at CCM bike. Tommy Anderson looks like he's gaining a bit of ground. Robert Kennedy looks like he's also catching Ian Robertson, so Ian's going to have to ride very well on that little 360 bike to keep Robert Kennedy's big 500 CCM behind him. So as the riders make their way from the far side of the track to start another lap, we're looking at number 100 in the background there. In the blue is Ian Robertson. Robert Kennedy Jr. there, number 4, is riding his father's 1975 CCM, and Robert looking to make moves on Ian Robertson. It looks like Robert's now got the advantage of Ian Robertson's little 360 DT Yamaha 2-stroke. And so as a race leader comes round to complete another lap and start his last and final lap of this second pre-1975 class, it's Liston Bell, number 98, riding what looks like his BSA in this particular race. Second place man should still be Stuart Riddle on the CCM. Third is Tommy Anderson, and fourth is Robert Kennedy Jr. on that CCM bike. But as our racers start their last and final lap, it looks like it's going to be a win for Liston Bell as we look at our second, third and fourth placed riders. So coming through in second position, it looks like it's going to be a runner-up spot for Stuart Riddle, number 20. So it's a win for Liston Bell. Second is Stuart Riddle, third is Tommy Anderson, and fourth is Robert Kennedy. So that brings us quite nicely to the second of the pre-1984 class races of the afternoon. Now I do apologise for not being able to cover the start of this race, but that was due to a very important nature call, and when nature says you have to go, you have to go. So unfortunately I missed the start, but I think we've only lost about a lap of this race, so we'll pick it up as the riders start lap 2. So your race leader is David Lowden in first position. Second is Gordon Forbes as it stands, but it looks like Neil Glendinning has now moved up into second position. So the racing positions as it stands is first number 75 David Lowden, second is John Stokes, number 151 there on the big Honda, third is Neil Glendinning, also riding a 480 Honda, number 19 is Gordon Forbes, number 233 is Graham Smith, and number 43 there is Andy Malloch riding that 1983 4-stroke Armstrong bike. But there doesn't seem to be anything between these three riders as they come round to complete another lap. But here is your race leader, number 75, that's a local man from the Strathaven area, number 75, David Lowden. Second position is still John Stokes, number 151. Neil Glendinning is still in there in third position. Fourth is Gordon Forbes on the Maiko. Fifth is Graham Smith on the RM Suzuki 400 with Andy Malloch close behind. Now there is our race leader already beginning to lap some of the slower riders. Number 35 is John Porteous on the Suzuki. Just behind John there was Dookie Harrow on that Curtis Honda, but here is your race leader, number 75, David Lowden on the YZ 490 Yamaha. Second place man there is number 151, and it looks like Neil Glendinning is moving closer to John Stokes in second position, so it could be a good battle for that second place spot. But we're still looking at the battle for the fourth, fifth and sixth positions. Number 19 on the blue bike there, that's Gordon Forbes from Argyll on the west coast of Scotland. Just behind Gordon is the yellow bike of Graham Smith, number 233 on the RM 400 Suzuki, who passes him for track position. What a decent little scrap developing between these riders for the fourth, fifth and sixth racing positions. Number 36 there is John Porteous. Number 121 again is Dougie Harrow on the Curtis Honda. 43 is Andy Mallock. So here is your race leader starting his last and final lap of the second pre-1984 class race. It's David Lowden. David just seems to suit this YZ490 Yamaha to the proverbial T and just looks so comfortable riding this very light and quick Japanese two-stroke machine. So we're looking at number 233 now. That's Graham Smith on the Suzuki. Behind Graham is number 19 Gordon Forbes and Andy Mallock on that Rotax powered Armstrong. But it's a win for number 75 David Lowden, with Neil Glendinning finishing in second position. Okay, that brings us to the last and final race for the over 60s class as they leave the line once more. It's another good start by number 14 Brian Hamilton on the CZ, but Fergus Moody's going round the outside and secured that track position as they head to the bottom section of the track. So it's Fergus Moody first, Brian Hamilton in second. Looks like Peter Dobbinson once again is in third position, with Stuart Riddle in fourth. So as they come towards, it's still Fergus Moody first. Second, it looks like Peter Dobbinson now. Brian Hamilton is still managing to hold on to that third place position from Stuart Riddle in fourth. So your race leader Fergus Moody is already opening up a gap to the rest of the pack. So it's Fergus Moody first, second is Peter Dobbinson, number 164 coming towards us, that's Stuart Riddle on that very nice CZ. Brian Hamilton behind Stuart, number 14 on another model of CZ machine, but as you can see, these bikes quite well suited to these dry track conditions here at Carnduff Farm. So there's the second place rider, number 41 Peter Dobbinson, as we look at Brian Hamilton, number 14. So we're looking at our race leader, number 122 Fergus Moody, who's had a relatively easy afternoon's racing in this over 60s class race and has not really had any potential challengers for the win in these three races, but nevertheless it's still riding a good race as we watch the rest of the pack go into the turn. So it's the Faber BSA man in the lead with Peter Dobbinson on that Triumph Twin. A lovely sounding machine this if you're standing trackside when it roars past. So thankfully it looks like the forecasted rain for this area is going to stay away for the rest of the afternoon, so that's good news for the riders and officials as we look to the far side of the track again to pick up our race leader Fergus Moody, number 122, who's already opened up a substantial gap on the second place rider, number 155 there coming towards us. That's one of our lady riders, that's Helen Cahill riding her BSA Victor, so well done to Helen for putting the effort in. Number 51 is Ian Ridley, also riding one of those beautiful BSA Victor machines. As we pick up our second placed position rider, number 41 Peter Dobbinson from Penrith, riding his Rickman Matisse Triumph. As I mentioned earlier, Peter also has a lovely cotton Triumph that he occasionally takes to the track with, but has opted to use the Rickman Matisse in this particular case. Stuart Riddle going through there. So it looks like our race leader, Fergus Moody, has had very little to do in these 3 over 60s class races this afternoon, but as he heads towards the checkered flag for win number 3, it's another good, solid win for number 122, Fergus Moody, on that Faber BSA. Okay, that brings us to the second last race of the afternoon's programme, the combined pre-1975 class. So we're just waiting on our official starter, getting the OK from the track marshal. And as they're all good to go, it looks like a good start by Tommy Anderson on the Husqvarna. Stuart Riddle going a bit wide on the outside, but nevertheless still keeps track position. But in the early stages, it's Tommy Anderson in first position. Second is Ian Robertson. Third is Stuart Riddle as they make their way to the centre of the track. Tommy Anderson doing really well on that Swedish Husqvarna machine. Oh, Stuart Riddle looks like he's made an unfortunate slip and fell off his CCM bike. But hopefully Stuart will get the bike lifted and get back on the track. So here is your race leader. It's number 3, Tommy Anderson, leads number 100 there, Ian Robertson on the 360 Yamaha. Third position coming through will be Liston Bell. Fourth will be Michael McNiven. Fifth will be Brian Aird, as the rest of the chasing pack start lap 2. But here is your battle for the pole position. It's Tommy Anderson, number 3 on the Swedish Husqvarna, who is in front of Ian Robertson, who is riding that DT 360 Yamaha, which is an engine that was loosely based on a Yamaha trail bike. So Ian's done very well by building this very quick racing machine for this 2018 season. So it's number 100, Ian Robertson, your race leader, from number 3, Tommy Anderson. Third place is Liston Bell. Fourth looks like it's Michael McNiven with Robert Kennedy Jr. just close behind. But these guys at the front are just absolutely flying around this North Carnduff Farm racetrack here in Strathaven. And your new race leader is number 100. It's Ian Robertson, who leads Tommy Anderson, number 3. Third position is Liston Bell. Looks like Liston Bell doesn't have the speed that he had in the earlier races, but there's still time yet. Number 3 there is Tommy Anderson as he comes round to complete yet another lap. So your race leader is Ian Robertson first, Tommy Anderson second, and Liston Bell in third. But a fantastic scrap developing between these 3 riders at the front of the pack in this final pre-1975 class race of the afternoon. It looks like Liston Bell is beginning to move up through the riders now and into second position. So Ian Robertson is going to have his work cut out trying to keep Liston Bell behind him, but it's still Ian Robertson, your race leader, number 100. Second is Liston Bell. Liston Bell looking to go through on the inside, and it looks like he's managed to make it stick. So it's number 98, Liston Bell, your race leader. Second is Ian Robertson. Third is Tommy Anderson as they cross the line to complete yet another racing lap. And I think Liston Bell is riding his Tribsa this time around, the Triumph twin engine in the BSA frame. So here is your race leader as he comes round to start his last and final lap of this pre-1975 class race. It's number 98, Liston Bell, your race leader. Second should still be Ian Robertson, and third place will be Tommy Anderson. And so as we look to pick up our race leaders once again as they all head for the checkered flag. It's going to be another win for Liston Bell, number 98. Second is going to be Ian Robertson, but a good scrap between these two guys right from the word go, and a very good finish for Ian Robertson in second place, with Tommy Anderson in third. Okay, this brings us to our last and final race of the day for this round 6 event here at Carnduff Farm. It's the pre-1984 class, and as they leave the line, once again a good start by David Lowden, but Graham Smith on that RM400 Suzuki seems to have a early lead as they go into the turn, but David Lowden closes the door, and it looks like David is once again on his way. So as they come towards us, it's number 75, David Lowden. Second is number 233, that's Graham Smith on the Suzuki. Third is Gordon Forbes, number 19. Fourth is Andy Mallock. Fifth is John Porteous on the Suzuki. Number 21 there, that's Dougie Harrell. So here is your race leader. It's number 75, David Lowden. There doesn't seem to be any sign of Neil Glendinning, who started lap 1, but I can see him parked just track side there on your left hand side. Seems to have some kind of mechanical issue with his big Honda, so it looks like Neil's heading for a DNF for this last race of the day. But number 75 is your race leader, David Lowden. 233 is Graham Smith in second position. Gordon Forbes also doing well on that big Maiko in third position, with Andy Mallock in fourth. So this local Strathaven rider, number 75 David Lowden, circulating this track at a very fast pace, and it looks like David could be on his way to chalk up yet another win for his efforts here at this round 6 event at North Carnduff Farm in Strathaven. But I must say, this has been a fantastic run for David Lowden today here at North Carnduff Farm. He's been riding absolutely out of his skin on that Yamaha YZ. There's Neil Glendinning. It looks like Neil's up and running once again, but almost certainly a lap down as we look at the flying Strathaven rider David Lowden as he completes another lap. Some very good surroundings here at North Carnduff Farm. The landscape is really nice when the weather is suitable, but David Lowden is your race leader. Second is still Graham Smith on the Suzuki. Third is Gordon Forbes on the Maiko, or Maiko if you're watching this in the USA. Andy Mallock on the Armstrong Rotax bike. And don't forget, if this is the kind of classic and vintage racing you enjoy watching on YouTube, then please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more of the same, because I will be posting more of these race events in the coming weeks here on Classic Dirt Bike TV. So there is your race leader, number 75, David Lowden. And just coming through is number 36, that's John Porteous on the Suzuki. Now that little bike there, that number 156, is a 1979 Montesa Capra 250. Now that is an almost 100% original machine, other than the rider told me that he changed the handlebars because the handlebars just didn't suit his riding. But a very rare machine indeed, and it's nice to see one of these old Montesas still taking part in classic racing. So we're just watching the rest of the chasing pack making their way through. Graham Smith going through there, number 233 on the Suzuki in second position. Gordon Forbes is still in third, so as our race leader comes round to complete yet another lap, it's still number 75, David Lowden. Now remember, 8 laps for the pre-1984 class, although we won't be obviously showing you every single lap, but nevertheless we'll show you the highlights as our race leader comes towards us looks like he's heading for his third win of the afternoon. David Lowden on that 490 YZ Yamaha. Graham Smith is still in second. Gordon Forbes should still be third, so here he is as he starts his last and final lap. David Lowden, number 75, and once again I hope you've enjoyed all the racing action from this round 6 event here at Carnduff Farm between the parts 1 and this part 2 video. So as I mentioned before, if this is the kind of stuff you like to watch on YouTube, then please subscribe to my channel. There's that very nice Montesa 250 once again. So as we head towards the closing stages of this round 6 event here at Carnduff Farm, I do hope you've enjoyed all the racing action, and it's another win for number 75, David Lowden on that 490 Yamaha.